Disregard the fact that my beard is longer now if you're watching us through YouTube. And disregard the fact that Tristan might most likely have a different hoodie on. We're doing this in the same filming session, everyone, is what matters. And if you're listening to this on the podcast, this means nothing to you. Anyway, so we have a very...
You didn't see anything.
Yeah, you didn't see anything. So, we have a good story today. We have a nice story.
Yeah.
We've had some... I mean, it's been a shaky podcast in terms of happy stories. Okay, so today we're talking about Capcom apparently developing some of their titles for the Nintendo Switch.
Objection! Wait.
Yeah.
No.
That's the one...
I like this.
Yeah, but that's the one that was mentioned, though, everyone. I know I didn't laugh at that because I'm genuinely sitting here like, but the Phoenix Wright was the one! Because, let me see, Capcom President Haruhiro Tsujimoto told a news website, Gigi, that's funny, literally said, hey, we might be bringing some games to the Switch, and, starting April 2018, and one of the games that he mentioned was Ace Attorney. So, you and I actually have, it's funny, we tried to do this video, and there was a bad take. I did something wrong, and there was no audio for Tristan. And, of course, we want to hear his lovely voice. So I have to ask you something now, Tristan. So I love Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. I haven't actually played some of the later games, like the Apollo Justice ones. But I have a question for you. So you have the original, or no? You played the original, though?
I've played the original three, okay. But yeah, I don't have them.
Alright, so you don't own them for the DS. No. And also I want to note that they did re-release the first three in some kind of collection for the 3DS.
Yeah, they're on the eShop.
They're on the okay, so they're not physical re-releases, they're eShop re-releases. Okay.
Yep.
So then, my question to you is this. Do you think that they're going to create a new Ace Attorney for the Switch, or do you think they might try to test the waters and try to do a re-release of some kind?
I would really love it if they brought a new Ace Attorney game for the Switch, but
yes,
I feel like they might, they might release old games first, because it seems like they're talking about April 2018, so it's like, that's pretty quick if, to,
well, yeah, you're right.
announce a new title, so...
You're right. Wow. You're 100% right about that. I did not think about that. Now, he didn't say that it was going to be immediate Ace Attorney. He just kind of said things like... So, but my question is this, though. Well, first off, would you buy it? Because personally, I still have the first one on the DS. I feel like you can get them on mobile, or apparently on 3DS as well now. You can get them on mobile and 3DS legally. So, if you can do that, either play your old... By the way, of course, if you don't know, if anyone doesn't know, which I would imagine you would, but if you don't, 3DS is backwards compatible. So I can just easily put in my, my Ace Attorney for the DS into my 3DS and play it there, too. So, there's so many ways to play it that... Do you think that it would be worth it? I mean, would you buy it, I think, is the question, because obviously I'm here with you. Would you... Yeah.
I mean, I'd need a Switch first. But
right, yeah, that's the first thing you'd need. Okay, so then you would buy it because
I think I would, yeah. Because I don't have it. I don't have copies. I borrowed it from a friend, so I would like to collect the copies, even if it is. I mean, I don't know how it would be for the Switch, whether it would be a physical release or a digital download, but
yeah. So digital would hurt you a little bit. You would be a little iffy on digital.
Yeah, in a way. Okay. But if it was a bundle like they've done, then I'd probably go for it.
I do wonder if they might want to test the Switch's power, if you will, or how they can work with it. They might just try to adapt the newest one that came out on the 3DS.
Right.
Instead of, not the one in Japan, I'm talking about like the newest US version, which I forgot what it was called. I believe it was listed in the article. What was it referred to as? Oh, right, it was released digitally. It was Spirit of Justice.
Right.
That one. They might try to do that for the Nintendo Switch. Because you're right, yeah, April is so close to now that I don't think they just bust out a new one. Although here's the interesting thing, though, that I have to mention, and the sad thing. So, it's not sad that this was talked about with a Japanese newspaper. That's not sad. What's sad is, what if this is another game that never really comes out here? Like, what if this is a sequel to... Because I never played that exclusive one where they were in feudal Japan.
Right, in the past. It never came out in America.
It never came out in America. What if it's a sequel to that? Or what if it's just another game that isn't... I mean, again, he mentioned Ace Attorney, but I don't know if he mentioned it in English or in Japanese.
Right.
Which the article doesn't really discuss. So I'm going to check right now. Maybe it is in English. And in which case... Because obviously it does matter. Like, is this interview marketed towards us, or are we... No, it's a Japanese newspaper, Gigi.
Right, yeah.
So... Or news website. So it's... Technically, this news isn't even marketed towards us.
Right.
Because we know, as Ace Attorney fans, not every game is going to come out here.
Yeah.
I mean,
they even had a Miles Edgeworth series, too, and the first one came out here, but the second didn't.
That's what I'm saying. Now, believe me, if the Switch became like this digital wonderland of like Ace Attorney games that never came out here, and they start pumping them out because they're free, and they want people to go for, you know, exclusivity on the Switch or something, hell yeah. Like, that I'd be cool with. Yeah, if you re-release some of those older games. Like, if you release, like, a Miles Edgeworth collection, and then it's the first time you can get the second game in the U.S., I would be down for that. Sure, I need to Switch, too. But I would be down for that.
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, that stuff is super cool, right? That idea, that concept. The problem is that, again, you know, obviously, by the way, there's other Capcom properties they could totally bring over as well, which I hope they look into as well. But again, because they mentioned Ace Attorney, it's kind of like, oh, you know, it's the first one that kind of pops into our head because usually that one was so... It was relegated to handhelds, not as a bad thing, just as the truth, right? Like, only handhelds have it. But now, I think we can truly see that there is a plan. If not by Nintendo, then at least other companies are kind of getting the idea or assuming that Nintendo might be moving away from traditional, like, 3DS-type handheld. And might be looking at the Switch as an all-in-one kind of system.
Right.
Because think about it, right? If this is the case, right? If you can get Ace Attorney on the Switch, you can play Ace Attorney on your TV. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we can now... It's not going to be exclusive to handheld, right? To handheld mode. So, it's interesting how it seems like Nintendo... And I guess Capcom as well, and some other companies are kind of picking up on making the Switch like, oh, literally, haha, the Switch. Where it's like, oh god, we need to release our handheld stuff on a major console. Like, on a major, you know, television console.
Right.
So that's interesting, I think. But yeah, so you would buy it if it were physical. Also, if you had a Switch. But do you think that we might not get the game, or is it just my pessimism?
I mean, no, there's always a chance that we might not get it.
Because if it was a Switch launch title, then I'd be like, wait, why are we not getting it? But because it's not going to be late in the Switch's life cycle, obviously, but because you know, we're waiting a bit for it, you don't know, right? You just, I don't know, maybe it's just me. It's just being burned on a lot of different games over the years. Thankfully, we are getting some games, older games, being re-released in the U.S. now, but it's just getting burned over certain games. And it sucks, too, when the games are so, I think, big and expansive. Like, if they released a Nintendo Switch game for Ace Attorney, and we're like, yeah, we're not going to release it in the West, you can't just fan translate, mod it. It's the Switch. It's the newest system. Right. Even with the 3DS, it's not... I don't... You know, people mod it, but not in a way where I think you can just dump fan translations onto a cartridge. You know? Even DS games. And it's the DS. And even DS games have some issues where I think one of the only games I can think of off the top of my head that... it's like, oh, wow, this is a Japanese game that's been translated by fans, and you can actually play the fan translation, is Jump Ultra Stars. Because it's a Shonen Jump game. It's basically Shonen Jump Super Smash Brothers. Of course that's going to get some fan attention.
Yeah.
You know? But yeah. So one thing that I find interesting, talking about like old Ace Attorney games that we never got the original Game Boy Advance ones. Yeah. Which I know technically the DS version was a port of the Game Boy Advance one, but like even going that far back, we never even got that in some way or another. So that's funny. Just one of those random one-offs like, how we never got the original Animal Crossing. But yeah, so there's a lot of potential here. I think this Switch idea, this whole releasing, Capcom games on the Switch, I'm in favor of it, obviously. Why the hell would I not be, right? I worry about digital only versus physical. Because think about it, right? Spirit of Justice, apparently it was only released digitally, so you can't get it on a physical cartridge in North America. I mean, the article says that, but do you know if that's true or not? Like I know some friends of ours would have bought it. Yeah. So they bought it digitally and that's it?
I think so, yeah.
That terrifies me. Because, I mean, it doesn't terrify me in the sense that if it gets ported to the Switch, that's great. But this is the end of the DS's life cycle. So does that mean that I have to go buy it now? Otherwise, I'll never have it when the server shut down?
Oh, yeah. I see what you mean.
Yeah. That terrifies me. So I'm not prepared for the digital future. I'm not a fan. I'm old. We're old. Did you prepare for the all digital future, Tristan?
I'm not even prepared for the now, Matt.
I'm not even prepared for the hybrid half-breed we have right now. Okay, well, happy to hear it, Tristan. So you'll be buying, if you had a Switch, you'd be buying Ace Attorney on the Switch no matter what.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on what titles, but yeah, I mean, I guess Switch would be cool to have that on, because, I don't know, I like the idea that it's portable, but I don't know that I would be comfortable bringing that out of my house. Like, I mean, the 3DS is still expensive too, but it's not like a full console. I don't know.
You know what it is? As we're wrapping the video up, I just want to say, I think the biggest issue with it is that it's portable, but obviously the screen is still huge, so you can't, it's not portable in the sense that I can put it in my pocket.
Right,
it's portable like a Kindle, where it's like I put it in my bag.
Sure.
Like a tablet of some kind.
Oh, yeah.
Where like I bring my Kindle around with me, but I put it in my bag. I don't just put it in my pocket. But a 3DS, arguably, yeah, you can just shove that in your pocket and you're fine.
Right.
A normal DS, same. So yeah, it's portable, but you have to get the portable, the Switch bag and everything. But you can technically bring it anywhere with you.
Yeah.
It's it's huge. So yeah, but no, I would pay for Ace Attorney on the Switch. I don't know if I'd pay for the collection because again, digital only. I'd feel weird about that. But because again, I don't know how much Ace Attorney games are going right now for the DS. I just know that I have the first one, and even though it's been 10 years or so, it just I can still play it on my 3DS. That's the thing. If the 3DS, not saying that they should make them non-backward compatible, but it's kind of a situation where like when you get these PS3 games that are remastered for PS4, for anyone who says, "Oh, why do I care?" I don't want to double dip, and it's like, well, that's fine because why do you want to double dip? I get that, but you can't play PS3 games on your PS4.
Right.
It's not backwards compatible. A shitty thing, sure, but it's just not that way. So you can't sit there and be like, well, I still have my PS3 games. Sure, I sold the PS3. It's like, oh, well, then you're fucked. You have to get a PS3 again.
Right, yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at, where, with the 3DS, if I have my DS game, to me, I'm good. But if they're going to do the newest one that I, if I don't want to get it on the DS and I want to get it on the Switch, that's good. And if they want to create a brand new one or they want to bring over one that wasn't translated, I think that would be the best thing to do. Put a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of legwork there, but I think it'll have good returns because I think the idea, even if it's digital, the idea of exclusivity is what, like, oh my god, I can only get this on the Switch. Oh, this is beautiful. I've never played this game before. Because, I gotta be honest with you, unless people want to prove me wrong, talk about it in the comments below, I haven't heard of, the 3D, any of the Ace Attorney games, doesn't matter if it's Miles, doesn't matter who it is, that have been unreleased, have patches or a lot of dialogue translated online to where you can play it. Because remember, it's Ace Attorney, it's not Super Mario. Text heavy.
Yeah.
Very text heavy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would feel more comfortable, I think, if they went for something that hasn't been released. But that's just me. Maybe I'm wrong.